He bought it just because of the name. Big
And
bus
honestly,
stop.
once in a while I have one, but it's something I'm not gonna sit there and get set. I might have one, it's just like my golf partner. And they get beer, cold beer. And one of them, I'll tell you, very good.
The other 2 dozen aren't.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Thank you.
Jerry, how you doing, buddy? All right.
Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. And a whistle. Just to get there.
Oh, I was ready for it. I thought about breaking it down, mix it down, there's gonna be 3 of them here, so I wanted.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, Carmel went out all the food today, brought her on the 8th, so. She had to go shopping yesterday. Oh, see, I brought her, side set and stuff, so she can talk about, eggs for her.
Oh, yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, that's
Sonny Jones, tapes out, 2 seashells out, brownies, crushed strawberries, and some ice cream.
I know.
Baked potato chips, cucumbers, and onion salad. Okay, start.
Just 2 seconds.
Okay. Oh,
Yep, no, I guess I'm ready.
we're ready.
We're ready.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Whenever you're ready, Carol, can we have a roll call, please?
Zimmerman.
Here.
Bridges.
Here.
Tobin.
Here.
Carey. Here. And Jessica here.
Tonight on the agenda, by the way, I had to use a different program, so I couldn't do a make it fit button. There's a little bit on the back, not much. So, okay, clerk's report. We have 2 sets of minutes from last month. Considering the March 9th, no, we don't have. We just have 1 set of minutes.
No.
Okay,
Yeah, there should be 2.
okay. What was the date of the second one? Oh, there it is, March 9th. Okay. First one, March 9th, regular board meeting. Was there any questions, corrections, concerns? Hearing none, then those will stand approved as presented. The second one had to do with the pension program. Was a special meeting also on March 9th before the regular board meeting. Any questions about that? Okay, hearing none, those will be approved as presented also. Treasurer's report, Maggie.
Treasurer's report is on the back table for everyone who's interested in it. No matter how hard I scrutinize it, I cannot find anything interesting to say about it. It's just a bunch of numbers. One thing that is good is Carol and I each keep separate sets of books and we compare them periodically. We just did a compare and we are spot on to the penny. So it doesn't happen as often as we'd like. So, any questions, concerns?
Okay, if there are no concerns or corrections, then the treasurer's report will be accepted as presented. And we had an opportunity to look at the monthly bills.
I move we pay our bills.
I second.
I have a motion by Jerry and a second by Mike to pay the monthly bills. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Carey.
Yes.
Tobin.
Yes.
Bridges.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
And Jessica, yes.
2 items of correspondence. The first came 2 days after the last meeting. The Mark Featherston, most of you know him, he finally got his permit to build his seawall for the DEQ. I don't know when that's going to commence, but it's quite an operation. It's over 200 feet of seawall. The second, I had a letter from Attorney Ed Roy out of Traverse City. It's some information regarding the the Shunk property. And then we got another one just a few minutes ago, same guy. He was going to be here tonight, and apparently he can't be here. Too bad. Okay, on to guests. Dale, would you like to go first?
Board of Commissioners minutes are back on the back table for anybody that'd like a copy of those. I have just a few things. A reminder about the Paulo Princeto Health Fair this weekend at Farwell School. So it starts at 10 a.m. till 2, Saturday the 18th. There's a lot of activities that go on. I've got a couple of flyers back there for anybody that would like to bring them. So we had discussed at our last Board of Commissioners meeting on upgrades to the HVAC system. We did vote and give final approval for that. So it's a lot of the units that are on the roof are 30 years old plus. So it's an upgrade that's needed very bad at the county. So we're going to proceed with that and get that all taken care of. That we're a little bit more efficient over there. So it's a whole new HVAC system with a control unit too as well. We are beginning shortly next month the budgeting process for the county. We're starting to gather information now from what is anticipated and what we've spent so far up to this point. So we're going to start that long drawn out process. So hopefully we're going to have a lot of money. So it doesn't look like it, but we're on it. I thought John and Midge were going to be here tonight to talk about the cameras.
That's what I thought. I've also got them farther down the agenda in case they still think the meeting starts.
Okay, I won't go into too much in depth into that, other than they had approached the Board of Commissioners on a program for the personal police department, the sheriff's department, deputies wearing a camera. So they're looking at townships kicking in some, and then they're going to go after a USDA grant too. So get the rest of it. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Samantha, would you like to say something?
The last board meeting, we approved the master plan for the Parks and Rec. I have talked to you guys, if you like it. Basically, has everything for all the lakes in the county, all the trails, everything that the parks have. So then that way you guys could have it if anybody's looking for a position. That's all I have.
Thank you. Well, now we know what your voice sounds like. We were afraid it was going to be one of those Hillary Clinton shovel hitting a rock type voices.
Hey, hey, hey.
That's a shovel sitting.
That's the shovels.
Um,
Give me that timer right there.
Yeah, go Hillary.
The sheriff and undersheriff, like Dale said, had intended to be here tonight. Don't know if there's something going on, or it could be that they still think the meeting's at 7:30. But I also have them listed farther down the agenda, so if they come in, we'll make room for them. And Julie Lightfoot is not coming tonight. So we'll move right into public comment on period number 1. Anybody have anything urgent that they'd like to talk about? No, that was pretty easy. Okay, committee reports. Fire Department, Dale.
Two things with the fire department. They are in the process of working on our tanker right now, the one that we're replacing. So they've got the chassis wired, and they're waiting on the tank right now. I talked to Scott from CSI this morning, so we're moving forward with that, and we're trying to get it sooner than anticipated from them. They are working on it. I've had quite a few people call on the old tanker that we have up for sale. Unfortunately, it's got a lot of miles on it, but it's still usable. So I've had them call as far as Indianapolis, interested in it. So the drive from here to Indianapolis is probably more miles than we put on it since we've had it, if they would buy it. So other than that, really, it's moving forward, so. Runs, we had 2 fires, 26 rescue, 1 power line, 110 year to date. I don't know how informed Carol talked to you guys on charter and the issues we're having at the fire hall with the TV portion of the bundle, but last you had talked to contact from charter. It was push the bill over $200 just to get that. They're considering us as commercial instead of residential, so we get the commercial billing. So with the board's approval, I would like to pursue a lower cost system, which would actually be the basic DirecTV.
Now, by pursue, you mean you have a price and somewhere to go, or you're just looking?
$19.95 a month to add on to our system right there,
Okay.
compared to almost $100.
Well, I think the current charter bill for the fire department, it's the 2 phone lines and the internet that they have to have for their reports.
Yep.
And when I talked to Charter about adding TV, they said that it was gonna be, go to 60 something, I don't know, it's a computer speed thing, I don't know what you call it. But anyways, and messing with the account was gonna, and adding the TV was gonna take it from 138 to 206. Just for the TV and a little faster speed on the internet, and I said, well, I said, that's not gonna happen. And then the hall here, to add the TV to the hall, which our bill here is a little bigger, it's 180 approximately, 183, and then it would go to 206. Well, I was like, well, that's not too bad to add TV and the faster internet. But jump in the fire hall, that's,
You know,
That's
the little
ridiculous.
history on it is when Nova Cable first came into Lincoln Township, they had their equipment on the fire department's property. So ever since then, we've really gotten anything we wanted through Nova for free. Then Charter bought out Nova, and we still received everything at the hall for free. Well, since they've moved all their equipment to another location, they let us have it free up until about
a year or
6,
so
8
ago.
months
No,
ago.
I spent longer than that.
Yeah, and now they want to charge us, so, I guess we've gotten it free for a long time.
Who's the 1995?
DirecTV.
Oh,
What's the
It's
equipment
a
cost?
basic.
And is there equipment cost? You gotta buy dishes or something? I'm not familiar with using it.
You know, it's all in the package from what I understand, I mean,
Yeah, early termination fees, that's it. If they terminate before your contract, then you gotta pay like 200 or something like that.
Okay, but they provide the dish and they come and they set it up and you don't get a $4,000 bill for that?
Well, let's just get all the details first,
Yeah.
the bottom line.
Like, put a dish, put it on the same account, and the same account have it in 2 different buildings.
I don't know, I've
We'll
never
have to
dealt
ask.
with that before, I don't know.
I'm not in a great rush to have TV here at the Township Hall. And we wanted to do it if it was a couple of bucks.
TV internet?
No,
I was gonna say.
Charter.
That's
Stick with Charter.
Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah, if you just want like one TV here, hook it up at fire hall or hook it up here, and then you can piggyback on the same account and put
additional box for
an
$5.
additional box, you'll have to get another dish, but
I'll
But
call
see,
and find out.
if they terminate you, when they come to get the equipment, all they want is the box. They don't even take the
They don't even-
satellite.
They don't even want the box, they just want the card.
yeah,
inside.
well, I don't even know if they have cards, and, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But
So I just want the approval from the board to pursue that.
Yep, absolutely. Consensus?
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
Yes.
My thinking, just so I can take that a little farther, were you done?
Yes.
Okay.
Does anybody has any questions?
This building is a post-disaster site. It's self-sufficient, it has running water, lots of space, obviously, air conditioning, bathroom facilities. And like I say, we have a generator here, just like the fire department has a generator. So my thinking is that if we can get a TV in here, even if it doesn't get used much, it might be the right thing to do, because we've got 50 people sitting in here with their houses blown over by a tornado. They'd like to see the news. But we'll see how that whole thing goes. The bad thing about Charter is that the minute the power goes out, you lose everything in your bundle. So we'll see. There's a lot of details to kind of go over.
And having the TV gives you access to the weather channel too. That
Yep.
You can watch stuff and sometimes you can tell which way it's going.
Now, if a tornado is predicted, don't come here. Wait till after the tornado. Okay. Parks, Carol?
I don't have anything for parks.
Cemetery, Mike?
The only thing I got is we're going to our summer rates now, so
winter is over, believe it or not.
Okay. Planning?
The planning commission was to meet tomorrow, but we're not doing that because we don't have a quorum, so there's no sense for us to meet.
Okay. Sheriff's Department is me. We had 370 complaints last month, 4 accident fires, 1 aggravated or felonious assault, 16 ambulance and rescue, 2 animal control complaints, 1 be on the lookout, 2 burglary with forced entry, 1 car deer, 1 civil complaint, 1 conservation complaint, 3 valid alarm activations, 1 fraud, 8 general assistance, 3 intimidation or stalking, 1 juvenile runaway, 3 motorist assist, 2 non-aggravated assault, 5 obstructing justice, 2 off-road vehicle complaints, 209 property checks, 1 violation of public peace, 4 suspicious persons, 28 traffic patrol, 7 traffic accidents, 26 traffic stops, 1 traffic violation, 1 vehicle or object in the road hazard, and 1 weapons offense. Now, again, that was 370 complaints for the month. The county total had 3,049 complaints. Did you want to add anything? Okay. And that brings us to the building report. Things starting to pick up a little bit, eh? Got a couple. 2 permits, 1 for roof construction on Birch Street, Zachariah Forbes. Or is that the builder? Is that the Amish builder?
No.
Okay.
That's homeowner.
Okay. And then roofing, John and Vicki McKay on Maple Street. And then finished up were Tim O'Neill on Wolf Lane, West Wind Construction, oh, they're not finished. Oh, they've had 3 inspections, okay. West Wind Construction at Dollar General. By the way, that's still on time to be done, open on June 1st. So. And John McKay on Maple, the roofing is done. So a total of 23.8 miles driven. And the zoning administrator's report. For March of 2015, zoning applications included 1 carport, 1 8x10 shed, and 1 garage. Approved included the carport, the shed, and the garage. There were none that were denied or not approved. We have 1 violation of ordinance 32, and we have variance that was considered on March 11th for addition to non-conforming structure, and apparently that was denied. And that brings us to Lake's report. I see they're getting a little softer on top.
Stricter drug and boating laws take effect this spring. People taking their boats on Michigan waterways after 2 drinks will be subject to stricter alcohol limits and penalties if they're over these limits. The laws regulating drunken and drug driving were updated in 2003, and new regulations kicking in for sport craft will be more uniformly as the limits and penalties even when not in a car. The legal alcohol limit while operating snowmobiles, watercraft, and off-road vehicles while
I mean, at least a dozen different seminars on everything from swimmer's itch to hydrilla to management of aquatic macrophytes that are nuisance species, that sort of thing. And Roger and I all, we get the same newsletters. So if you're, any of you from the other property owners associations are interested in that, see one of us and be happy to give you all that stuff, send you on your way. Also, I might mention the Michigan Lake and Streams Conference is coming up. It's the end of this month, right, or the 1st of May? Yeah, and that's always a good one. The property owners from Lake George and Shingle Lake are sending one person that I know of, and as far as I know, nobody else from Lincoln Township is going. Okay, well, that brings us to Midge. I see he walked in. Why don't you talk to us about some microphones and stuff?
Good evening, everyone. If I may, I'd like to hand this out to the board members first before we start. Basically, what we were hoping to do was come in front of the board and the community and ask for some support. We're looking at trying to go to body mics for all of our deputies out in the field, our detectives, our undercover deputy. He would also be wearing one that is assigned to bayonet. With everything going on, we just want to try to protect everybody involved, our folks and the public, of course. Too many things taking place. There was a school shooting today. There's already questions being raised and how some things occurred. The way the system would work, you actually have a body mic you can put on your uniform. It has a camera and the audio. So everything that occurs would be recorded. It cannot be altered, the system that we're looking at. They would come back to the department. It would automatically download. So there's nothing as far as any margin of error on the human side. It's a very good system. We did a lot of research. The problem is, of course, everywhere. Funding. What we had done, our OWI forfeiture account. We plan on going to the county, hoping to have the commissioners review some things, but before I do that, I'd like to get my ducks in a row. The ballpark that I figure we could afford internally to make it work does not cover the need for all of the cameras needed. Therefore, what we did, we started going to all the municipalities asking for your guys' support to see if you would consider funding. What we've done at other municipalities who fortunately have agreed to do so already, the cameras are about $575 a piece. Like in Lincoln, with there being 2 deputies, we would ask that you consider affording basically 2 of them. I believe I put it in the packet.
Yep.
The board members would see. It'd be $1,150. But that way, each deputy is assigned their own. Similar to what we do with the portable radios. By them having their own, they tend to last longer, to be totally honest with you. They're better taken care of. Deputy Van Bond can speak for it. Back in the days when we shared our radios, a lot more maintenance issues. And in the end, we end up spending more money repairing them constantly. We have hardly minimal issues now with our portables because they are assigned. We do the same thing with cars. There's less people that drive them, like your township has. Your car, only the 2 deputies that work here drive it. That's why there's not a lot of maintenance issues. You start getting 5 or 6 people sharing, it doesn't tend to work well in the public safety world, unfortunately. I'm sure the chief knows. But overview of the system, it is called the prima facie body camera system. What would happen if we're going to a priority 1 call, which would be something really serious? From the moment the deputy activated this, automatically goes back 10 seconds towards everything that occurred. Like if a deputy's found, the gentleman or the lady says, I was not intoxicated and I was not weaving all over the road, by the time they hit the lights, that has already started if they hit the button on here versus the in-car system. Now the in-car only has audio, that has no video. So if Deputy Van Bond's on a traffic stop tonight, something comes up that's in question, we have no way to prove other than his car cam if he gets out of the sight of that car. Whereas if it's on his body, you can see everything, and you can hear it. Huge tool all across the country. A lot of agencies are trying to do what we're doing right now. So that's basically the prima facie came very highly recommended, and it's very reasonably priced. Some of these things are double that, just for one. So we try to be as reasonable as we could with the volume that we needed as far as quantity. Does anyone have any questions thus far?
Now, are you asking us to buy these and donate them to the sheriff's department, or we buy them and we own them?
Well, it depends what the board wishes to do. Either way, they're assigned to our folks that work for you.
Okay.
So
Can't make a donation, so I have to own them.
you'd be better off
So
owning
then
this
we would
with
be
your own.
responsible for repairs.
I'm sorry, what?
We would be responsible for any repairs.
I'm not so much worried about the repairs, honestly, you guys. I'm pretty good with these things. The problem is when you take on a massive volume project like this, if something big came up where they were just done, there's no warranty without spending a lot more money. But this system is shelf rated at 5 to 10 years. The average is 2 to 5 that's coming out. So if something broke, like Dennis mentioned, I have a pretty good rapport with the vendor. We got them to extend the quote as Carol and I talked about some things when this started. I'm not so worried about that part. The big thing is getting it up and running. Once you get them, the minor things that occur, a plug breaking here and there, I'm sure we can work with that. If it was something huge and elaborate, out of respect to the county, then I would need to come back to the board.
I see they have a 2-year warranty, so probably pretty much anything other than obviously being careless or destructive would probably be covered for 2 years.
The big issue we generally run into, because we're human too, if something happens where, oh, I didn't clip it on right, it slips and it falls.
Yeah.
Our plan and how we're going to wear them would alleviate that. Generally, the only time that it would get broken is if you got into a serious call during a scuffle.
Wait,
Yes.
she's got a question.
This
Yes.
thing broke.
Yeah, okay, go.
How about the rest of you, what do you think?
How come we can't take this out of what we already give you? 120 grand a year.
We don't really just give them 120 grand a year.
No, I know what you're saying, but we spend a lot of money.
I looked at your budget. Again, that is prorated, and I know what Carol's getting at. These are the numbers everybody hopes for. Doesn't always occur that way. Fuel costs and other things, as we all know, we've dealt with medical and healthcare costs rising. What I would hope for is if you were willing to do this today, we would, of course, and we do. We've talked about many things. You guys don't have to worry. Honestly, I watch like a hawk for you. Every day I'm looking at numbers, the jail count, the contract budgets, to know where we're at. Every month when you get a statement, all of our division commanders get a statement. I look at it weekly, they look at it monthly. So when I look at like your fuel cost, you call it your 862. If you look at 323, period 862, period 000. Vehicle repair and maintenance. If you look at where you're averaging right now, at that 64%, you're probably going to be able to pay for that already internally from funds that you planned on spending anyhow. Can I commit that? No, because Lord forbid if they raise the gas prices in the next 6 months. But if we stay on course, guys, it'll pretty much pay for itself from your existing budget.
Our budget ends
Our fuel costs should have been going down.
Yeah, they have. What we
No.
prorated at for the year.
We
Go ahead,
don't
Carol.
pay for fuel, we pay
By
mileage.
mileage.
We pay 57, we buy
But I mean, still the mileage.
575
you should
per,
have-
Mileage does
per
not
mile.
change.
Mileage doesn't change, that's a standard for us.
Is
The
the,
rate, the
is
miles change, flex a little bit every month, not a lot though.
the price per mile changed at all?
No.
No, well, it went up a penny.
Government-
Since our
It's
contract
federal,
started.
federal interest
CPI.
rate.
Right, gas has gone down 40%. Why wouldn't it?
But insurance and everything else, maintenance is gone up.
And you bring up a good point, though. If you look at what we watch constantly, your 862, the reason that is probably less is if you go down to your 323-981, period 000, that is your vehicle replacement. Because we went into the lease program, you have a newer patrol vehicle, which generally it's working so far. When it's newer, you generally won't spend as much money for repairs and maintenance. So that's probably why you have such a significant savings in there right now, if you look at the percentage. And if that maintains, then we should be good.
Jerry, you're about as familiar with this as anybody on the board, so you
Well, I think that if you've been paying attention to the news across the country, I think this is going to come one way or another. And the sooner you get it up and running, the better protected our community is going to be. Our department's going to be and everything, but I wondered, I hadn't heard anything, and I wondered where we were going with this.
We've been working on it for about a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am in favor of protecting our officers, and this is a form of protection of alleviating some of the court issues. This would help to alleviate that, and it's a minimal expense to do that. I am, however, the accountants and the hackles are rising on my neck a little bit because I see that our revenues are down year-to-date in that account by 13,000, and our expenses are up by 10,000. But we talked about this almost a year ago. We knew this was going to happen. This year, we're going to take a hit. We do not have a balanced law budget this year because of our huge decline in revenue this year coming in, and we were not willing to compromise the public safety. But that's not a hit we can continue to take, and we talked about that. And Midge has got some magic that he's going to do, going some Harry Potter stuff.
We'll be meeting. Good options, I think that'll work for everybody.
So all that being said in a roundabout way, as much as I hate to dip in the red any further, this one is worthy reason to take $1,000 hit.
And again, I think the bonus, guys, in the end, if we can stay the course, inadvertently it will have paid for itself from what you already planned on spending in your normal budget anyway.
Okay, well, since everybody seems to agree.
Ben, I got another question. If you get the grant, how does that affect us?
If we would have gotten the grant, which you found out today, unfortunately,
Oh,
You're
so
not
you notice
getting
I'm,
it. No equipment money, I already asked.
we're tapped out until 2018. We got a very large project that we wrote a grant for in the jail, which was about $78,000. The total was 96. So with the matching from the grant that we wrote, the provider will not allow us to receive any money until 2018 now.
Well, since everybody sounds fairly positive, I'll make a motion that we authorize the expenditure of $1,150.
I support.
Any comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank
Happy
you,
shopping.
everyone. Thank you.
Are they cheaper on Amazon? Are they cheaper on Amazon?
Yeah, the problem is you be replacing them 2 to 3 times a year.
Oh, okay.
There's a reason they're on there, honestly, for these. I look at those too. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, if you turn the page, you'll see that Ed Roy, an attorney out of Traverse City, was supposed to come and talk to us about a situation in the township, and we got an email, I don't know what time you got the email, a couple hours ago. Yeah, that he wasn't coming. So that's probably a good thing, because I understand he's a little hard to get along with. So moving on to new business number 3. Carol, how'd the Easter egg hunt go?
It went really well. We had about 6,000 eggs that the seniors and, well, a lot of folks helped put together. There weren't as many kids as usual, and Roger, now turn and show them what you were doing.
You gotta turn this way so they can see it too.
Being a kid.
Yeah.
Being a kid.
That was
It's
for the
okay.
attorney.
It was good, though. Thanks for that, Roger. We didn't have as many kids this year as we usually do. We usually have about 120, and I estimated we had about 60 or 70, don't you think, Mike?
Yeah.
And, well, the Firewall was having their really big, gigantorandous Easter egg hunt,
I
which
guess
was
they had
great.
a ton of kids.
And they
there,
had
too.
tons of kids. And I talked to Gina over there, though, so next year we're gonna coordinate. We have them on different days. So I'm gonna have mine the Saturday before Easter, and she's gonna have hers the Saturday after Easter. So then the kids will get lots of
But it was so cold that day.
and it was very cold,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it was sunny.
So other than that, the bunny was out. The bunny had to go on a fire run, so the bunny was just a few minutes late. We were worried, but pretty soon, here he came. Whew.
Okay, I have a couple other announcements. As you've heard, most of you have come to every meeting. So We're doing this land plan thing. Our next meeting is April the 27th, which is a Monday, and that's at 3:30. Be right here. Our next neighborhood watch meeting is, actually, we'll have a township board meeting before then, but I wanted to get it on here. It's the second Thursday of the month, the 14th at 2, because the Neighborhood Watch Expo is scheduled for June 20th. And things look a little different in town as far as parking and shutting off streets than they did the last couple of years. So we'll probably be having some subcommittees walk around town and see how we can set things up a little different. We don't want to have the Dollar General open on June 1st and then we shut the street off to them on June 20th. That probably wouldn't be cool. So all the participation that we can get with that, we appreciate. And that's all the announcements that I have. We'll move into public comment. Yes, Raul.
Yeah, the Property Owners Association met. We had our first board meeting of the year this week. And one of the things that came up for discussion again was the Sugar Lake Park and our plan on doing something in this community project there. And our funds are at this point around $600,000 in that area, right, that we set aside for that so far. I guess we have a couple questions for the board. Is, number one, if I understand it right, we're still looking at 2016 or 2017 before you guys can really consider the matching funds.
At a minimum. We've got 2 parks ahead and nothing scheduled in the next couple of years to touch either of them.
Okay, so
At least.
At least.
At least 2017. Our next question with that, on that would be is, obviously for what we would like is an ideal pavilion down in Sugar Lake Park would be something with restrooms, change rooms, and the restrooms have to be vandal-proof and everything else. Then you're talking septic system, you're talking a water system, you're talking blue bucks, we figured minimum $30,000, probably more than that. So our next question would be, would the board like us to consider doing something along the line of just a basic pavilion? A pole barn without walls, for lack of a better word.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it's gonna be, I don't know how long it would ever take, Ralph, to get that kind of money for what you, that large of a project.
The other thing too is if you guys did the pavilion and we were left to come up with bathroom facilities, we'd have a better chance of getting a grant for bathroom facilities than we would for a pavilion. So, but I still, as I mentioned to you, I'd like to take you, maybe Mike, Carol, a couple others down. There's one in Alma in one of their parks that it's way bigger than what we want, but that particular style is really, I think it's really attractive.
Third question for the board is there anything else needed in, say, Sugar Lake Park other than the pavilion also? Because we did specifically earmark the money for the pavilion, so we could do another community project in the park. Is there something else you're looking for?
One thing I have noticed when I have been there with the grandkids, or just been scoping around in the summer, is people trying to change clothes either in the porta potties or in their car with other people holding blankets up. So perhaps if you were to do a pavilion or something that had, brick walls on a couple sides, I don't know, that would allow some kind of privacy, but then you're getting into potential avenues for shenanigans.
And
I don't
we
know.
figured if we did something like that, they could use public restrooms.
But that's very likely too.
Yeah. And so that's why we kind of.
Maybe something that was open from about 2 foot down.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But would allow some, and I'm not saying that there could ever be anything, but I have noticed a need that people seem to be having when they're trying to change clothes there. There's absolutely no privacy to do that, other than porta potty or food.
But that's, to clear up.
Yeah,
And then part of the time, so you can see.
yeah, but at least the pertinent parts are covered.
Right, right. Oh,
Got a fourth question?
I think I've only got 3 questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, didn't give you very good answers, didn't we?
Carol, is there anything you can think of? I can't think of anything over there. We're pretty well. The boat ramp's in good shape, the fishing dock's in good shape.
The only thing I've been asked for recently at that park is a swing set by the playscape. That's the only thing I've been asked for recently.
Isn't that the one we cut apart
No.
to get a kid out of it?
That was overlay.
Oh, that was, okay, yeah.
Any type of piece of play equipment, the kids are gonna love it, and that's what it's for anyway, for kids.
You wanna buy a light?
One by light.
Yeah, an outside light for the park.
Well, why is it, is one year?
There's none over there.
They never came and put that light up, that, when we approved that $300, he never came.
Who's he?
Oh,
I called him probably.
Can't remember his name.
That gives me some ideas, maybe we can put a combination together with a swing set, some sort of security line over there, so.
Well, if you do it, like, and I was actually looking at pavilions, on the internet, different types, they just make up every kind of a pavilion size shape you can think of. Might be able to put a light right on top of that.
Whether the permit was made, the cost of cement, apparently last around.
Yeah, is the old patch the one that was torn down still there? That's- All right.
Okay, any other public comment? Merle?
Yeah, just yard waste, we're gonna start next Thursday.
And run for approximately 6 weeks? 8 weeks?
What's the date next Thursday?
What'd you say, Merle, 8?
8 weeks.
Okay.
Today's the 13th, so that'd be, what, the 15th, 16th? Okay. Do you have anything else, Merle?
Just wanted to touch base with Carol, make sure that the billing was her satisfaction.
It was, I remembered.
Okay.
Snafu there.
I did, well, because I didn't know the house count, so when I paid the bill, I just paid it off the old count. So there was a little proration, there was some proration, so but we fixed it. I just
Just
had
one
another
house.
idea, I don't know why proration made me think of this. The roof on the old pavilion,
Yeah.
that's another thing that probably could
Yeah,
be replaced.
Okay.
That would be a real gift. Okay, sorry, yeah.
Tom, you can't think of nothing?
Yeah, I could on the lighter side.
Okay.
I'd like to make a recommendation, but I said for rain, when it comes again to the township support, they like cops, but they also like film.
Oh. In my other meeting just prior to this, when we've gone over, I might be able to do that, I remember that.
See, Pat always brings cookies to the neighborhood watch meetings, you know, I don't know why she don't bring
While
them
you
in.
made the coffee, I brought you cookies.
Anybody else have any other public